Hello guys, Suswagtam. Welcome back to our new video. In this video we will be discussing an important topic related to occupier of each and every organization. Video is related to duties and roles of occupier. So firstly we will be discussing about the duties of occupier. The duties of the occupier are also mentioned in legal terms, which is in Section 7A of Factories Act. So as per the Section 7A of Factories Act, the responsibilities of occupier is under. Every occupier shall ensure, so far as is reasonably practicable, the health, safety and welfare of all workers while they are at work in the factory, without prejudice to the generality of the provisions of subsection 1. The matters to which such duty extends shall include the following. Point A is the provision and maintenance of plant and systems of work in the factory that are safe and without risks to health. Next point is the arrangement in the factory for ensuring safety and absence of risks to the health in connection with the use, handling, storage and transport of articles and substances. In simple words, it means that anyone in charge of a workplace, called the occupier, has a responsibility to take care of the health, safety, and well-being of all the workers who are working there. To fulfill this responsibility, the occupier needs to make sure, as much as reasonably possible, that the workplace is safe for the workers. This includes things like providing and maintaining equipment and systems that are safe to use and don't pose any risks to the workers' health. Furthermore, the duties of occupier includes providing information, instruction, training and supervision as are necessary to ensure the health and safety of all workers at work. This means that the employer has to make sure that all workers know about the hazards in the workplace and how to stay safe. They need to be trained on how to use equipment safely, and they need to be supervised by someone who knows what they are doing. Next is the occupier needs to have maintenance of all places of work in the factory in a condition that is safe and without risks to health, and the provision and maintenance of such means of access to and egress from such place as are safe and without such risks. This means that the employer has to keep the workplace clean and free of hazards. They need to make sure that there are safe walkways and exits, and that there is no equipment that is in disrepair. Next duty of occupier is to ensure maintenance or monitoring of such working environment in the factory for the workers that is safe, without risks to health, and adequate as regard facilities and arrangements for their welfare at work. This means that the employer has to provide a safe and healthy work environment for their employees. This includes things like providing clean drinking water, comfortable temperatures, and access to restrooms. In short, these 3 points mean that the employer has to take all necessary steps to keep their employees safe in the workplace. This includes providing information, training, and supervision, maintaining a safe workplace, and providing a safe and healthy working environment. Except in such cases as may be prescribed, every occupier shall prepare, and as often as may be appropriate, revise a written statement of his general policy with respect to the health and safety of the workers at work and the organization and arrangements for the time being in force for carrying out that policy, and to bring the statement and any revision thereof the notice of all the workers in such manner as may be prescribed. This means the occupier of a factory has to have a plan for keeping their workers safe. This plan should include things like identifying the hazards in the workplace, putting in place measures to control those hazards, training workers on how to stay safe, and monitoring the effectiveness of the safety measures. The occupier also has to make sure that the workers know about the plan and how it works. This means that they should give the workers a copy of the plan, or at least make it available to them. Next, after discussing the duties of occupier, we will be looking towards the responsibility of occupier in Factories Act. Section 41C describes specific responsibility of the occupier in relation to hazardous processes. Every occupier of a factory involving any hazardous process shall maintain accurate up-to-date health records or, as the case may be, medical records of the workers in the factory who are exposed to any chemical, toxic or any other harmful substances which are manufactured, stored, handled or transported, and such records shall be accessible to the workers subject to such conditions as may be prescribed. This means that the occupier of a factory has to keep track of the health of workers who are exposed to hazardous substances. This means that they have to collect information about the workers' health, such as their blood pressure, blood tests, and lung function tests. Store this information in a safe and secure place. Make the information available to the workers so that they can see their own health information and track their exposure to hazardous substances. The occupier of the factory also has to make sure that the workers know about their health records and how to access them. This means that they should give the workers a copy of their health records, or at least make it easy for them to get a copy. Moving further, next responsibilities is to appoint persons who possess qualifications and experience in handling hazardous substances and are competent to supervise such handling within the factory and to provide at the working place all the necessary facilities for protecting the workers in the manner prescribed. Provided that where any question arises as to the qualifications and experience of a person so appointed, the decision of the chief inspector shall be final. This means that the occupier of a factory has to make sure that there are people who know how to handle hazardous substances safely. These people should be able to identify the hazards associated with hazardous substances, put in place measures to control those hazards, train workers on how to handle hazardous substances safely, monitor the effectiveness of the safety measures. The occupier of the factory also has to make sure that the workers know about the hazards associated with hazardous substances and how to stay safe. This means that they should give the workers training on how to handle hazardous substances safely. If there is any question about the qualifications and experience of a person who has been appointed to handle hazardous substances, the decision of the chief inspector will be final. This means that the chief inspector is the final authority on who is qualified to handle hazardous substances in a factory. One last important responsibility is regarding provision to provide for medical examination of every worker before such worker is assigned to a job involving the handling of or working with a hazardous substance, and while continuing in such job and after he has ceased to work in such job at intervals not exceeding 12 months, in such manner as may be prescribed. This means that the occupier of a factory has to make sure that every worker who is exposed to hazardous substances is given a medical examination before they start working in that job, while they are continuing in that job, and after they have ceased to work in that job. The medical examinations must be carried out in a manner that is prescribed by the government. So, guys, here in this video we discussed about duties and responsibility of occupier. Hope it is clear to you. So that's all for this video. Hope you like this video. Thank you for watching. And for more videos related to chemical industries, chemical safety, industrial safety, process engineering, chemical engineering, you can subscribe to the channel.